Welcome to the Rising Coaches Podcast, the Carousel Special Edition. This is Adam Gordon, joined by our good friends, Vice President of the DEI Alliance and founder and host of Access Media, Brian Burton, and Erin Sinnott, the legend Minnesota women's basketball, getting ready to hit the bus for the road trip in a couple of hours, I believe. Bags packed, sandwiches delivered. What's up, guys? Good to see you. B, Erin, how are we?
Hello. Just chilling before the chaos.
So we're back. We're back. It's been there's a little echo. We had a false start penalty already. We had a little technical difficulties. It's been a minute since I've been on a live stream, so I'm a little rusty, but it's great to be back. And B is the veteran of this now, does it all the time and is killing it with the guests that you've had on recently with All Access and everything that you're doing. You're with ESPN now, broadcasting games. Next thing you know, this dude's going to be on ESPN with the microphone on the sideline of the March Madness tournament. B, what's up, man? Talk to us. What have you been up to?
You do not. Let me see. Am I coming back? Am I frozen? Anyway, all those things you just said. Got to host Erin in an interview with DEI of Rising Coaches DEI podcast. So just having a lot of fun. Get to be a dad a lot and a husband present and covering all those things you said and then some. So enjoying the ride.
I love it. And man, we're going to get into some conversation in a little bit about like just life after coaching overall, right, and just like what that's been like, because that's what people are always curious. I always get those phone calls, especially this time of year as the season starts to drag on. Like, yo, what's it like, man? What's it like on the other side? So we'll get into that, and then man, we got some carousel stuff to talk about already. It's not even February, Brian, but before we do all that, we gotta talk to Erin Sinnott, who has single-handedly through her relationships with USPS, has shipped out. I think it's fair to say thousands of lapel pins for our National Equality and Inclusion Night campaign. Erin's really been the true, as always, the GOAT. I mean, like, we've known that for a little while, but again, just killing
the real MVP. Kevin Garnett said about his mom. Adam saying it about Erin. It's true.
There's no doubt. So, Erin, what's up? Talk to us. What's life like in Minnesota? Have you frozen yet? And how does it feel running a national equality campaign out of your kitchen?
Literally. That one was funny. Yeah, it was negative 15 when I woke up this morning, so extremely cold. Wow. I went to my workout at 6 a.m. and it was freezing. I'm a big workout with the sweatshirt on, and I completely soaked my sweatshirt and was like, wow, I'm gonna now have to go sit in my car that's in negative 15 degree weather. This is great. So I was not thinking that fully through.
Hoodie Erin.
Yeah, I had the beanie on this morning. Your girl was cold. I was like, we're working out with the beanie. It's so cold. Anyway, but I'm fighting through it. It's good. It's beautiful. At least it's sunny. So that's I get some Denver vibes for sure. But yeah. And then my operations and it's has taken over. At one point, it was my entire apartment. I don't have that big of an apartment. I live alone, whatever. But I had my little station. I knew kind of what to do, and I had a little assembly line system. And had a friend over one night and was like, "Girl, we gotta do. You want to help me? You seal, I'll label." But no, it was a really eye-opening experience for sure. It was really cool to just kind of put the labels on and be like, "Wow, this is going, to the East Coast. Wow, this is going to." The South and the West Coast, and just to kind of see that I touched every single one of these envelopes and sealed them and did all of that. It was pretty I had to make it a sentimental thing and something too our company is so excited about and just real about, and just having conversations and being advocates for stuff that matters. And it's been really, really, really cool. A lot of late nights for sure, coming home from work, eating really quick and then just kind of like putting a show on or putting a movie on and just like sitting there and repping those out. Learned a lot about the USPS system. So the Dinkytown Postal man is my BFF. I go to him a lot. Like literally, okay, so like how do I put like we have this many pins going to this many places? Like how do I do it? Like the prelim trial round, and then Adam switching up the envelope size on me last minute.
There's always going to be a last minute change when you have to deal with me.
Sure, sounds good.
Let's give the people some context too. Like the reason you're putting in all these hours is we're putting together and really just weeks away from the first ever Equality and Inclusion Night campaign. We're going to have close to 100 games in college basketball taking place and hosting an Equality and Inclusion Night on their campus. And this has been the mission for almost a year now, right, guys? That we talked about it in those early DEI Alliance meetings of putting together something like this, inspired by what Coaches versus Cancer does. And I think their week is this week, which is amazing. The work that they've been able to, and the action that they've created in fighting cancer through basketball, really incredible when you like take a second to like sink that in. And we just thought like we need to do the same. I mean, like, copy from the best, right? And so like they've done this amazing job capturing college basketball, which is this huge platform, and let's do it for equality. We've said we're going to do that for 2 years now, right? And that can't like phase away and like we get caught up in what we're doing and start forgetting about it and put it on the back burner, like at the forefront of the conversation. And it's cool, man. It's really cool to see like all the schools like excited about taking place in it. And, this is just the beginning. This is year one. And like the things that we can accomplish, moving forward are limitless, really. B, what's it been like for you? You're out and about on the road broadcasting games in front of coaches, probably more than, I don't know about any of us because Erin's on staff, but more than me for sure. Like, how is it being out there and just kind of the response and, from your perspective, what are you looking forward to the most with Equality Night?
I just love the fact that it's even happening. I think sometimes these things are ideas and they don't happen. Obviously, I go back to when I was inspired by Rising Coaches in the beginning, when you guys had the first town hall when the George Floyd murder happened. And I think it was then, and then Erin did a social justice roundtable with women in sports. We did 3 or 4 with All Access. I think the part of just not letting it die, not letting it continue to make it a part of the conversation when it's not an election and it's not a pandemic well, I guess it is a pandemic still, but it's not everyone's locked in the house, so to speak. So I just love the fact that it's going to be inside in mind and people have an opportunity to take it kind of whatever way they want. And just excited to be able to celebrate, the equality and inclusion. I think there's been a positive response. I think there's been, people that want to know more. It's almost like since it's new, it's not a familiar thing. So there's no like point of reference. So they're just kind of asking more questions and trying to figure out more. And, coaches are thinking about the next scout or the next game. So half the time it's like, well, we're going to get to it. I don't know when, but we're going to get to it. So I think it's just one of those things. So, I salute Adam first. Obviously, everybody's a part of it. Erin's doing a lot of the heavy lifting. But I salute you for, just going forward to make it happen. A lot of people can talk about it, but, you've always been a person about action and you've been a big time advocate. And I just think creating this DI Alliance in the first place and then taking it a step further and taking action where it's a national conversation, national campaign. So salute to Adam G. He can get some roses real quick. And I even at the end of the day, you're talking about it's extended the day. 2 days on there because it was such a demand.
No doubt. Well, I appreciate those words, man. And when we started the DEI Alliance, like that was really the great work we did was put all those incredible organizations under one roof because it's such brilliant people from, right. I mean, if I list one, I got to list all 12 and that's a lot, but really those organizations, I mean, and it's hard for me not to say them because I want to recognize all of them. But they're really the brilliant people that are helping push this forward. And like we said, the one advantage Rising Coaches has is like we don't coach. I don't coach anymore. B doesn't coach anymore, and so like we've got a little bandwidth to like keep the ball moving during the season when everyone else, is focused in on their team. But like the incredible thing is how everyone rises to the occasion when the moment comes. So we're excited. It's been incredible. Every day I call Erin after I go to my mailbox to see if any pins have been returned to my address. So far, I'm going to say I got to give Erin a ton of props. I don't want to like tempt fate here, but so far, out of like almost 1,000 envelopes, only 4 have come back. So we're excited. We're hopeful. And just to shift gears, not to shift too sharply or whatever, but we do want to say, very excited, Brian, to bring back the carousel next week. Holy cow, we already have movement. It's not even February, and there's an ACC job open. What is going on?
College basketball, as Forrest Gump would say, it's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get.
Yeah, and we're going to get into Louisville. I want to get your thoughts on Chris Mack's situation, which I don't know a ton about. Like, I'm not going to lie. I'm just catching up on everything through Twitter. But just before we get into it, just, a quick reminder of like why we do this is not to glorify coaches losing jobs. We've all been there. And if we haven't yet, you will. If you stick in this business long enough, keep ducking and dodging, Aaron. It's going to get you one day. Again, like that is important for us to say because we're both, Brian and I both feel strongly about this. Like it's not fun losing a job and having to figure out, where the next, career is going to go and where the paychecks are coming from. So we're not celebrating that, but we are there's no one reporting like, there's some services out there that do a great job in some areas, but let's talk about what's open and people want to know. And, they're curious. We've got some crazy takes and hold on one second, guys. I'm just, what's John Beeline watch? John Beeline is back. He's spotted in Louisville, Kentucky. What is going on? Is John Beeline going to take the Louisville job? Is that the first Beeline watch of the year? I don't know. I'm just messing around. What's going on in Louisville? What happened? Like I saw that Chris Mack and Louisville are parting ways. There's some words said, I guess. But what are you hearing with that situation?
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, Chris Mack, the job that he's done has done at Xavier as a head goes, full on record, and we know how good he is as a coach and as a leader. Yeah, I mean, when you step into those kind of jobs, it's a pressure cooker. We all know, and there's high expectations, and they just at the end of the day, they haven't been very good on the court. They've relied a lot on that, I think, second recruiting class, and some of those guys just didn't quite pan out, and they haven't really been able to turn the corner, to be honest. And what many would consider the ACC to be as wide open as it's been in a long time, they still haven't been able to quite turn the corner. So there was a little bit of rumblings last year, and I think they wanted to give the year to see, and unfortunately, it just hasn't gone in the win column the way they would want. And I think sometimes when you can be, not that he's not a nice guy, but when you can be super nice in those roles and, you can kind of buy yourself some more time. And I think just that wasn't able to happen either. So unfortunately, parting ways, but big time job, as we all know.
Yeah. And just to echo what you said, Chris Mack, one of the best coaches in college basketball. I think everyone will agree with that. What he did, the sustained excellence that he had at Xavier is really unheard of, unseen, very rare in this industry. When you look at all the consecutive NCAA appearances and runs into the tournament and the Elite Eight run in 2017. And let's not kid ourselves. The expectations that were left to him at Louisville, having to follow Rick Pitino, cannot be fun. You know what I mean? And it's not like he came in there and was like a bum. Like these dudes won 24 games. They won 20 games. But, like, especially at a place like Louisville, that type of pressure cooker, it's like, what have you done for me lately? And, one bad year going on two bad years. And like you said, that's just kind of what happens. But Chris Mack, you would think, would have his pick of any job that opens up this offseason and is going to be a home run hire for whoever is fortunate to get him. But like the name of the show, the carousel, it continues to turn. And like Louisville, like you said, is one of the best jobs in the country, and it's going to be an opportunity for somebody. Any ridiculously early names you want to throw? Well, first of all, before we get into that, who's like the interim? Who's taking over as interim? Do you know?
I didn't even get that far into it. I would assume one of the assistants. I don't even have any idea.
Yeah, let's look at. I'm looking that up right now because I want to like talk about him first, whoever him is. I should know this. I should do my homework before I get on the air, like a professional. But this is kind of how we roll. So we're kind of off the cuff, right? Well, I do want to say I don't know if you get the interim job, but Mike Pegues is on staff, and Mike Pegues is a guy who is a tremendous player and has put in years as an assistant and is one of the up and coming stars in college basketball. Our guy, Coach Pegues, will definitely get an opportunity. I don't know if he's interim or not. It could be, no disrespect to the other guys on staff. I just don't happen to know them. But if it is Mike, I mean, maybe it's an opportunity. Do you think whoever the interim is can do enough in this last, month and a half of the season to try to get a realistic shot at the job?
I mean, I would say no, not at a place like that. I don't think the interim coach is getting hired, unfortunately. No offense to whoever may get it. It's just they're going to try to get the best, what they feel like is the best hire in the country, whatever that is. They have the resources to do it. They have the history. They want to win national championships there. So I would say no.
Brutal honesty and probably the truth at the end of the day, which I love. Guys, the carousel's back. Like we said, it's not even February. We already got stuff to talk about. So it will be live. It's coming back. I believe we're going Wednesdays. Maybe Tuesdays. It's going to be next week. Our guy, Ricky, the graphic greatest of all time person, is working on it. We're going to drop it. You'll see there'll be plenty of announcements, but next week, starting up again with Carousel. So excited.
Tuesday
all right, we got 5 minutes. No. What's that, Erin?
Tuesday or Wednesday. We don't.
Tuesday or Wednesday. Just hey, we'll drop it to you. It'll be in your podcast. What you need to do is go subscribe to the Carousel on iTunes, on Spotify, and then it'll pop up and you listen to it when you're ready. It's the beauty of podcast. All right, guys, we got 5 minutes left, and this is like a big conversation and a big topic, but we're going to talk about it. Brian, what is life like after coaching? What's the biggest, obviously you've accomplished a ton and you've created your own deal, which is amazing. But I know people always call me and ask, what's life like on the other side? What do you get asked the most? What parts do you miss? And what are some of the biggest lessons you've learned? In 5 minutes, please.
Yeah, I can give it to you probably shorter than that. Question I get asked the most is just, how is it? Are you coming back? It's probably one of the biggest questions. Do you want to come back? My answer is no. I appreciate it. My time was fun, and I maxed out everything I could. I steal a page from Kobe Bryant on this whole kind of approach. Is just during his time while he played, he gave it all he had, but when he was done, and he did as much as he could to serve his family and to serve the game of basketball and serve things he loved. So I'm taking a page from the Mamba, not him, but taking a page from his book and just wanting to serve the game and serve the industry, from players to coaches, parents, programs. We had our first Rising Coaches Classic MTE this year, which I never knew I was going to be leading the MTE, but that was an amazing thing. And to partner with Rising Coaches on that was awesome. My wife and I have a company called Uprise. So, yeah, guys just continue to open doors. I would say for me, I think I said this on one of the Rising Coaches things before, is my wife is way smarter than me. She played 2 sports in college, Division I, and she's going to be in the Hall of Fame at her school. And she went to Colgate in the Patriot League, so she has a master's in business, all that. So she says to me, job titles are, what does she say? Let me remember this. Job titles are temporary, but purpose is infinite. And I just kind of stick to that in this phase of my life. Just stay focused on purpose. I love to help people. I love to serve. I love the game of basketball. I love my family. So I'm blessed that I get to spend time with them every day. And so that part's been great. I would say, what do I miss? You always miss the competition part, right? You miss being in the locker room. You miss being a part of a team. You miss the interaction with the guys every day. You miss your staff. certain staffs that you're on, because it's like a family. You spend more time with them than you do your own family. You miss some parts of the travel naturally, and then I think you miss just the competitive, like preparing for a game and then seeing your game plan or your development work with a player or those type of things you miss. But overall, I don't miss it. I get to be undefeated every day, so that's a good thing. And yeah, so tough profession though. So I would say lessons learned, I would say quickly. Yeah, it's just really hard. That profession is a great one and you love it and you're so into it, but you just realize how much other things that you just neglect because you're so in a tunnel vision, and you're just locked into the next game, next recruit, next job, next opportunity, next networking, next scout, next. It's always next. And I think that pace of that work ethic, when you take that and apply it into more normal world, it's like you're the hardest worker ever. And you're so used to working. I'm sure Erin's pulled plenty of all-nighters already or close to it. It feels like finals week every week in college basketball. Like it literally feels like, oh my God, I got an exam, I got a cram, I got to. There's an element to that. Whereas in real life, you don't have to have that, but if you need to, you can. So I would just say not putting limits on yourself and then learning your own value outside of what someone else says on you. I think sometimes in college basketball, they put like, well, you're a director of ops and you're this and your role is this. And that's important. You got to have specialists. But I think just learning, with all the things I've been fortunate to do since I've been out, it's like I would have never thought I could do any of them. But because of the time and being out, it's like, well, why not? Just go for it. And if it doesn't work, then so be it. So I'll give another shout out to Adam and guys like Daryl Jacobs that are also a part of this organization that have, because of you guys, kind of entrepreneurial mindsets. It's also helped me to just be like, all right, well, let's go for this. So let's try this. So much respect to you guys. And then always shout out to my wife because she's the one that puts up with me during all this madness. My last 3 years of coaching, we lived in 7 combined cities in 3 years and had 2 pregnancies. And so, yeah, it was crazy, long distance. And so the fact of being in one place and be stable and have a home, we've been really blessed. So great game. I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing without it, but there are other things after you get done. That's what I would say.
Amazing answer, amazing insight and wisdom, B, and perspective. We got to run, but appreciate you guys joining us on this special edition of the Rising Coaches Podcast. Brian Bender will be back next week with more conversations with great coaches. And we will catch you guys on the carousel sometime next week, Tuesday, Wednesday. Just subscribe, go to iTunes, go to Spotify, and check us out. We appreciate you guys, and we'll see you next week.